Can you hear me? I'll try my best to keep this brief, although I know Adam would want me to talk about him for as long as humanly possible. I'd like to begin with a poem that I have found helpful in the past, and especially over the past few days. The poem has not only helped my pain begin to heal, but it also perfectly embodies Adam's spirit and way of life, always making the most of everything. The poem is titled The Dash and is written by Linda Ellis. I read of a man who stood to speak at the funeral of a friend. He referred to the dates on the tombstone from the beginning to the end. He noted that first came the date of birth and spoke the following date with tears. But he said what mattered most of all was the dash between those years. See, that dash represents all the time that they spent alive on earth. And now only those that love them know what that little line is worth. For it matters not how much we own, the cars, the house, the cash. What matters is how we live and love, and how we spend our dash. So think about this long and hard. Are there things you'd like to change? For you never know how much time is left that can still be rearranged. If we could just slow down enough to consider what's true and real, and always try to understand the way other people feel, and be less quick to anger, and show appreciation more, and love the people in our lives like we have never loved before. If we treat each other with respect, and more often wear a smile, remembering that this special dash might only last a little while. So when your eulogy is being read, with your life's actions to rehash, would you be proud of the things they say about how you spent your dash? My name is Oren Katz, and I'm a senior here at UM. Adam and I were brothers in AE and we studied abroad together in Australia, living 3 floors apart and spending every day together for 6 months in a foreign country. Needless to say, we were able to get close over the past 2 years, and I appreciate the opportunity to share some of my thoughts on the exceptional man we've lost. To Adam, life was a party, and he was always the life of the party. Adam's infectious energy enabled him to be by far one of the friendliest and most outgoing people society has had the pleasure of meeting, constantly making new friends and harboring close relationships. His wide, flashy smile and viral enthusiasm made him endearing to anyone with whom he came into contact, which we all know was more or less every last student at the U. One of my favorite stories about Adam came near the end of our time together in Australia. It was around 12:30 on a random weekday night, and I had just crawled into bed when suddenly Adam called me. When I picked up, he explained to me that there was an emergency, and he had to come up to my apartment immediately. Of course, I got out of bed and I let him in. He stumbled into my kitchen, breathless from running up the stairs. The emergency, it turned out, was that he and his roommates had planned on going to a party together, and at the last minute, his roommates decided they wanted to stay home instead. At first, I wanted to smack him across the face for getting me so worried about the fact that he didn't have anyone to go to a party with. But that's exactly who Adam was. A dire situation to Adam was when he couldn't be social to the maximum of his capabilities. Oh, and naturally, he successfully persuaded me into going out with him, and it was by far one of the best nights of my life. Adam relished the spotlight, and God help us all if he wasn't going to be in it. He made sure of it every time he opened his mouth, when his distinctive, sharp voice would pierce through the air, reaching every corner of the campus. Anytime Adam spoke, especially when he was upset about something, which was around 50% of the time, I guarantee you every last person from the comm school to Red Road heard about it. And as I'm sure he told all of us many, many, many times, he was Adam Levine. Like the singer, but better and more famous. Yes, Adam was extroverted, but that doesn't quite sum up his disposition. Adam was a natural leader, having taken on unpopular responsibilities in AEPI and holding 3 different positions in our student government, including being elected senator twice. Adam certainly was not shy or afraid of saying things people might disagree with. He always stood up for his thoughts and beliefs, no matter the cost. Adam was driven beyond description. If he wanted something to happen, then fuck it, it was going to happen. He was incredibly hardworking. He was creative. He was caring. He was passionate. He was unique. Spontaneity flourished and fountained from Adam's soul. He was always looking for that next adventure or the opportunity to experience something extraordinary. For example, when we were abroad, Adam decided one day, out of the blue, that he wanted to visit New Zealand. So he just went. Now, he stayed in a fancier hotel because, God forbid, Adam Levine ever stay in a hostel, but he still went. And then there was that time we were at a club with a pool on the roof, and Adam randomly decided to jump in with all of his clothes on, quickly followed by all of our friends, myself included, following suit. We were kicked out of that club. Or when we were supposed to calmly and slowly enter the water at the Great Barrier Reef so to not scare the fish. But Adam felt like cannonballing into the ocean. So that's exactly what he did, shouting, "Whee!" the whole way down. For as big of a personality as Adam was, he still managed to impact us in smaller, unnoticed ways. Whether it was just saying hi with a warm smile, or always being at the ready with a witty comment or a funny joke. Or how he was constantly willing to put something important or personal down and take some time out of his day to spend it with you, going to the beach, or watching a movie, or getting sushi. Sometimes it's the smallest things that take up the most room in our hearts. I'm gonna miss the way Adam shouted at me when we were the only 2 people in the room. I'm gonna miss his classic pose that he struck in every single last picture. I'm gonna miss him making fun of me for liking things like poetry and exercise. I'm gonna miss us taking walks to the Sydney Opera House together. And sometimes falling asleep when we kept hanging out until we couldn't keep our eyes open any longer. I'm gonna miss us talking about nothing for hours. I'm gonna miss us being able to say a single word to each other and then bursting out laughing, knowing what the other was thinking. It was never appropriate. I'm gonna miss meals together. I'm gonna miss his voice. I'm gonna miss his laugh. I'm gonna miss him always being there for me, no matter what. Most of all, I'm just gonna miss one of my best friends. It's a damn shame Adam Levine is no longer with us. It sucks. I feel sorry for anyone who didn't have the true privilege it was to meet him. But as I said before, Adam's life was a party, a celebration. And while there's time to mourn and time to grieve, there's also time to remember fondly and to laugh about what a funny kid Adam really was. And I know that in the coming days, weeks, months, and years, each and every one of us will be able to grin and chuckle anytime Adam Levine strolls across our minds.